this world. I hope you're staying grounded and creating. There will be, when they do this trivial shows, and they will go, what new gestures or language was introduced during the pandemic? And we can say, bubble. We're living in our own little bubble. But perhaps that has been the problem all along. Living in our little small, isolated bubbles, not venturing out. Many times I want to break this encasement and no bubble, no boundaries. Even that word now we have to redefine when we say, oh, I must set boundaries. At one time, it was a good word. Now, when we hear people, no, you invade my boundary, which should be respected. I'm just joking around. But it's so many changes. How do we maintain and navigate through all of these changes? And the only way is to start from within ourselves. The message these days I constantly hear, read and see. If you really want things to change at the various levels that we're being exposed to, start with yourself. Gyaltsen Rinpoche. Again, I keep wanting to read this little statement. He says, during these degenerate times, no one really wants to listen or hear. They're all attached to their own ego, cherishing and clinging. Perhaps it is best to sit in our meditational cells, retreats and caves and hermitages, and practice intensely with loving kindness and compassion for the benefit of all sentient beings. Again, thinking this morning, living on the island of Guam, when a hurricane or the typhoon season would come, very strong winds, 125, 175 miles. I don't think any of you island people know. But I always noticed that after those typhoons settled down, no matter how fierce they may have been, the winds have blown, the green would return and the sunshine and the flowers would bloom and the sweet smell would fill the room and everything would return to a state of calm and life would go on, not in the same way, because prior to the storm, one had to prepare and border up with plywood, etc. But on that small island, when these fierce storms would rage, there would be no casualties, no one would die, because they prepared properly for the raging storm. In the same way, we are in the midst of a raging storm that we didn't know was coming, but perhaps we did. And some of us did prepare, and some of us didn't. And those who did or didn't will determine how they will fare. Then I thought this morning, the word upheaval, but in order to mine the gold, you must throw the earth upheaval to get to the gold. If you want to plant the crops to grow in a field, again, upheaval. You must break ground. You must part, and then you can plant. And with nourishment, the flowers will come. The vegetables will grow. So we are in the midst of an upheaval. And perhaps, hopefully, some will find the gold. I hope it's that way. And obviously, I will tell you more tomorrow, thinking about Selma, Alabama, thinking about racism and prejudice and dogs and burnings and so forth, and oh, so many memories watching this special last night with Dr. Martin Luther King. And you have to forgive me if I should go into the cadence and the vernacular of this great sage and bodhisattva. I don't think most of you really know, especially this generation, what prices have been paid in the face of hatred, violence, prejudice. I was just thinking about myself, trying to find my name. Haven't been called so many things other than by my name. No wonder I couldn't figure out who I was. I don't think any of you, as I remember as a small boy, I don't think any of you ever went to the bathroom and had to look up before you walked through the door to see if it said white or Negro, because we hadn't come up with the terms Black, African American, and we had moved away from the more derogatory terms, which I will not offend you by saying. But it was said so often, you even took it in a lighthearted, joking way. And we do still see it used in that way in certain contexts. But you know all of these things. As I was talking to Dr. Seiler, there's not one sentient being that has not been oppressed or persecuted, shot, hung, even dismembered throughout the course of our existence. Sitting last night, I said, I want to remember the degradation and the pain, the name calling and the lack of fame, how one is abused and their spirit is trampled upon, and how an idea is tried to put to rest and buried, but it will always grow. It is the most dangerous, isn't it? You may slay the one who brought the idea, but the idea is eternal, isn't it? You all have hope. I see examples of tenacity to live, to rise up. So whether it was the Tibetan people, whether it is Black people, people of Vietnam, people of China, people of Slavic, Polish, Nordic descent. And now we can see on the shores of America this upheaval. And I believe that a new dawn, a new way is coming, and it has been coming for a long time. This is merely symptomatic of deeper causalities that have been brewing, especially in our society, perhaps since its inception. And we are merely reaping the seeds that have been sown. Now we can decide how we will place those flowers or dispel those weeds. I now hear what Dorje Zenji said. Even though we love the flower, we love the flowers. Every time I look at the flowers Lama La gave to me, they're starting to open, Lama La. I look at them and go, oh, so beautiful. I have to sit, and then the Khandro said, give me roses. And so I put them together, the white and the red. I love these colors. So these flowers now are blooming, and so are the weeds. Dogen, we love the flowers and they grow. We do not love the weeds, but they grow. So he's saying either way, this growth is going to happen, and it depends on our perspective and how we appear or take it in. So I wonder your thoughts. What are you clinging on to? I say the words of Talopa. Let go of what is past. Let go of what may come. And let go of what is happening right now. And what is happening right now is atrocious. And obviously a certain amount of absurdity makes my heart very sad, very sad. Having lived through these type of situations, riots and shootings and killings and guns and hatred, and to see it rise up with such fearlessness, as one teaches. Fearlessness means, in this case, that we have no fear of the consequences of our actions. And we just go about as though we do as we please, because we are the most important thing in the world. But it will change. All things come to pass. Rumi, Sasarastran. All of the great prophets have that statement. All things will come to pass. Anyway, so many thoughts. I will tell you more stories tomorrow about Selma, Alabama. I didn't meet Rosa Parks because I was too small to even know what's going on. I think I had a mild case of Asperger's, or probably not Alzheimer's yet. That'll come later. But what's the other one? I can't remember right now. But I was seemed to be off in my own world all of the time. Maybe I was a little bit autistic. Not artistic, but autistic. I try to think back on what planet was I living, digging in the front yard, making little holes, looking up in the sky and looking at the clouds and imagining that I saw this, that, or the other. Anyway, another story. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying, but just to impress upon us is that we can be a community that brings about change. I've already asked, and I say to myself, I will be a messenger of peace, and I will be a vessel of change. I keep going back to, as I told you, 8th grade, being summoned to the counselor's office and being said, this is what you will be. And perhaps it has been implanted, is to be the barker, the one that comes before and says, fear not, even in the midst of these darkened times, turmoil and upheaval, peace will come. Compassion and caring and kindness will arrive. The seeds of that has also been planted. You are those seeds. And my job is the gardener. I hope I've made you smile in the midst of your deep thinking so far. I am the gardener, the emissary, the one who brings the seeds and plants them deeply, and then hopefully in some feeble way and attempt to nourish them so they grow in each one of you, each one of us. If a portion of the whole changes, greater to the degree than that which thwarts its change, then the whole will eventually change also. All you need is one great catalyst: Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Gandhi, Mandela, all of these great leaders, Einstein, and you, each one of you in your own way, can make a change. We can do all the chanting and ringing of the bell and beating of the drum that we wish to do, but they only be outer antics, playing around, unless they affect us deep in our bones. There's so many thoughts coming to this small brain. That's why I like to sit in the very beginning and not say too much, because I have no idea what to say. I'm just a puppet. As I looked into the sky last night, may I be your instrument. Direct me in my ignorance, impart your knowledge and wisdom. May I speak my heart to others before it is too late, and encourage each and everyone to make revolution. Revolution in your heart and revolution in your mind. My Buddha Master says, shake up your brain. Anyway, take a deep breath in, please. Breathe out and rest onto your seat. Whatever occurred prior to now, let it go. Whatever is coming, we do not know. And if we begin to focus and comment on this moment, we're already in the past. So let that go. If you remember a formula from Back to the Future, an equation, A equals B equals C equals A. It is a time quantum loop repeating itself. And we see this repetition and continuation of the three poisons that keep us going around: ignorance, attachment, desire, and anger. And then all of the other cascading effects that come as a result. And we keep stirring them up and creating more darkness, not realizing that the more darkness we create, the greater the light will be. And those who exist in the dark fear the coming of the light, but it cannot be stopped. As I said earlier, you cannot put to rest an idea that will free all the rest. Take a breath in, please. Something that Lama said, which I take for granted. One, that you know how to sit. One, the 7 points or 5 points of Urgyen are put forth for a specific reason. For us, we put the left leg on the inside and the right leg on the outside, whether you cross in the full Vajra, half Vajra, open Vajra, or crossed. The pelvic should be like a 2x4 resting in water, meaning it's even. So you should feel that. That's why we do those exercises. Flowing up out of that like a staff of the shepherd comes straight up through the neck and down with the cleft of the chin. The chin should be in line with your horizontal, with your clavicle notch. Your nose is in line with your navel, and your shoulders are in line with your hips. If you're sitting in a chair, you're not lounging. This is not a coffee clutch, as I like to make the joke. Drink tea with your little pinky in the air with a cucumber sandwich. If you've gone to Thailand to some hotel like this, there's a tea hour. And you do exactly that. You go to the tea hour. So the back is straight. Even if you're sitting in a chair and you need to scoot back into the chair, again, so that the back is straight. Then your eye and chin should be on the horizontal plane. Now, sometimes, again, we use other practices where we do lift and look up, either by lifting the head 45 degrees or the eyes up, or the opposite. We keep the chin down and look up. There's so many methodologies in entering into these various practices. The shoulders are not forward, not pulled back, but they are in line out to the side, and they release down. The clavicle, the scapula, and the shoulder joint. When you release and let that go, take a breath in, release with an ah sound. And let the weight off of your shoulders and drop from your chest. When you're sitting, I can see. Are they present? It's like Rinpoche said, to sit like a mountain. He sit like a mountain. His breath is natural, flowing like the wind between the trees to move the leaves. And his mind is vast and open as the sky. In space, he sits and please. When you align the body, you begin to release and open the subtle body of the channels. This is why the sitting. When the body is still and the body is aligned, then the inner channels will release and open, and the inner winds, the 5 major winds, will flow harmoniously. When that happens, the innate calm and clarity of the mind will arise. And when that happens, in unity, it will be expressed in kind. Loving kindness and compassion spontaneously emerging like a radiant sun. Sit for a moment in stillness. Sometimes the tendency is to incline, left or right, to slump. Sit up straight. Again, being in this classroom in Selma, Alabama, just when I didn't know what was going on. What is segregation? What is integration? Why do they have the dogs and the hoses? And why are there men with guns? As we sit in the classroom and told to be still, don't run. But sitting up straight and just being present because you had to be alert. Because at any moment, you feared you would be hurt. This is how many of us grew up. But as one person said to me, another colleague, we learned to survive. And not only survive, but to thrive. I hope that's what you're doing each and every day. Take a breath in, release with a sigh. Just let yourself go. That moment of stillness, moment of being present. We dawdle around and look and chase flies, not knowing how to be still, not knowing how to rest in the inner space of our own infiniteness. When you do, doesn't a certain calm, like after the storm? You ever been in the eye of a typhoon? A typhoon has been raging 175 miles an hour and the winds gusting up to 200 sometimes. And then all of a sudden, in the midst of the eye, and the people who go home, they go outside and they yell and scream and drink and eat. They know how to do. And then, oops, got to go back in. And they run back into their house and shut her up. And then again, in the opposite direction, the winds come. But they do pass. And the sunshine comes again. Take a breath in for a moment. Breathing out and just rest. And as you rest, you sink into the earth element, as I do in the Qigong Tai Chi class. We sink into the earth element. So the same thing in the Salon, the elements. And then you connect to the water element, your fluidity, your flexibility, your clarity. Then we come up to the heart space, dynamic quality, fire. We need the aspect of transformation, heat. But where does it get its fuel from? The air. So we're connected to the air. Then where does it all exist? Within the infinite space. Connected to space. Again, looking into the sky. So strange last night. And seeing with my eye the stars and not knowing exactly where am I now. So I will tell you again, something to stretch your brain. I hope. I said, I want to stretch your brain, irritate your brain to think beyond the limits of our own smallness and to embrace the greater consciousness that we can elevate and evolve to. That at this very moment, your perception of space and illusionary time alters. The old patterns that hang on so desperately, crumbling and falling away every day in front of our face. We have to construct anew in order to continue to thrive, to live, to rise up. Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, I came across this phrase: the blessings of infinite hope. As I said to myself this morning, the blessings of infinite hope. We never give up hope. When the gates of hell in Dante's Inferno, all who enter here abandon hope. He's telling us that is hell. And there are many of us who have abandoned hope. I'm here to tell you, never. Even when they put the gun to your head, we don't abandon hope. When the dogs are nipping at your heels, we don't abandon hope. When they cut off your feet and hang you by your neck, we don't abandon hope. And we can go on and on and on with the various imageries of atrocities that we have perpetrated upon our humanity. But I think one thing we still see: the blessings of infinite hope. I hope you are opening your heart this morning, because just mumbling and ringing and ding ding and wearing funny clothes, many people are doing that. But if they're not elevating, evolving, and changing, and having greater loving kindness and compassion with less anger and less prejudice, then why? And at the end of the day, I think it's more of an atrocity and a shame. You don't laugh. You haven't laughed, you haven't smiled at yourself. Because I do. I have many wonderful conversations with myself. Then I know, okay, time to go outside and get some air. There's two people are talking, sometimes 3, 4 people talking back and forth. So please enjoy this life, because bam, there'll come a moment you won't be able to be in Rio. You won't be walking on the sandy beach with pina colada in your hand in your bathing suit. You amuse me. I adore these two. I get so much watching. Oh, there they are again. Excuse me. Sunday mornings, the more you sit, now I know why those yogis are so crazy. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. Take a breath in, please. Then breathing out, open the flower of your heart. Then I do say, oh, I should do that. I used to live in that place. I know those white sandy beaches and the brilliancy and the blueness of the sky and how it reflects upon the water and the warm waves and the coral reefs and the fishes going by. But you can create your own haven of paradise in your mind at this very moment, or you can create the hell of your own descent at this very moment. What is your choice? And then from the resting, just for a little bit, let's begin. Many things I want to tell you this morning from this crazed mind is, so for today, you do your at least 21 long Vajrasattva. If you can do 100 every day, this is better, like that. You do your prostrations. At least you can do 25 long prostrations, 30. Some people are doing 50, maybe 100. Then you do recitation of Guru Mantra, and then you sit. That's one session. You do this more and more, your flower will open, and the debris of our own fabrication will fall away. Then from the proper sitting, no slouching. As my dad would say, you're on point. But that's how we grew up, always on point. It became a way of being, and not that one shunned it. It was a way to survive, a way to thrive. The state of awakening. When those who put their foot on your back, they don't realize you're getting stronger and stronger so you can stand up. And once you stand up, there will be no place for the foot to be placed again upon your back. I'm just telling you how I remember in my feeble way, my deluded way, childhood memories that exist to this day. Make use of what has gone before and let it be the fertilizer that make you more. Dorje Sampa, frontal is in front of you to cleanse and purify. We do only 7. What's my time? Oh yeah, the time just tick, tick, tick. Sidum Sidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Zava Dada Gata Badru Mani Mudu Benze Bhava Samaya Sadhu Hum Badru Zata Manu Balaya Badru Zandu Denoba Ditu Ditu Mebu Wazudu Kayo Mebu Wazudu Kayo Mebu Anaradu Mebu Zava Siddhi Mebu Zara Gata Sudum Zidum Zidum Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sada Dada Gata Badru Mani Mudu Benze Bhava Samaya Sadhu Hum Badru Zata Samaya Manu Balaya Badru Zandu Denoba Ditu Ditu Mebu Wazudu Kayo Mebu Wazudu Kayo Mebu Anaradu Mebu Zava Siddhi Mebu Zara Gata Sudum Zidum Zidum Oh, Bhagavan Zava Dada Gata Badru Mani Mudu Benze Bhava Samaya Sadhu Badru Zata Mano Palaya Badru Zandu Denoba Ditu Ditu Mebu Wazudu Kayo Mebu Wazudu Kayo Mebu Anaradu Mebu Zara Gata Sudum Zidum Zidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Zava Dada Gata Zobenze Bhava Mahasamaya Sadhu Arumbara Zadu Samaya Mano Palaya Badru Zandu Denoba Ditu Ditu Mebu Wazudu Kayo Subogaya Mebu Anaradu Mebu Zava Siddhi Mebu Zara Gata Sudum Zidum Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Sada Dada Gata Badru Mani Mudu Benze Bhava Mahasamaya Sadhu Badru Zadu Samaya Mano Palaya Badru Zandu Denoba Ditu Ditu Sudogaya Mebu Zubogaya Mebu Anaradu Mebu Zava Siddhi Mebu Zara Gata Sudum Zidum Zidum Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sada Dada Gata Badru Mani Mudu Benze Bhava Samaya Sadhu. Now as you sit, space between the thumbs, left on the bottom, right on the top. Again, as I mentioned earlier, those 7 points at least. Straighten up. And then within that discipline, though, to not be rigid. Remember the line in Little Buddha when he heard, how do you tune the lute? Not too tight, not too slack, in the middle, just right. Rest your mind. Dorje Sampa, like milk being poured into water, the essence one and the same. The essence of your own enlightened mind is the deity. And that deity is the manifestation of purity of body, purity of speech, purity of mind, purity of phenomena, time and space. Rest in the unadorned state. Pe. Yo wa di nu do doji zamba doji ne do man nu na yo ba de ne shala yo ba sho. So again, that thought, change is the constant in the universe. And change is inevitable. We may not see it, but change is occurring at this very moment, whether we want to resist it or not. Thus, the comment about the growth of the weed, even though we do not love it, it grows. So I want to, you can rest for a little bit. I want to take you on a, at least journey that I have been perplexing over for a while. And so it's just some from last night, just some things I'm thinking about. The universe is said to be 13.8 billion years old, this universe. And as I like to make the joke, I believe Mr. Gates and other individuals have more financial resources than the age of the universe. That's just sort of absurd, I find. Then I thought this morning, it has taken 13.8 billion years for us to be at this level of a carbon-based consciousness, life form, Dr. Cyber. The solar system, our solar system, which men will put up in a little bit, our solar system is tilted at a 60-degree angulation in relationship to the galaxy in which we exist, the Milky Way. Can you put up the Milky Way now, if you have? Oh, good. This is the one. I hope he was fine. And it's this sitting is to align, depending on your point of view, the universe, our universe, or I should say our galaxy, is rotating counterclockwise or clockwise, depending on where you place yourself on our Earth. At the middle of our universe, of our galaxy, is a black hole. And without that black hole, life as we know it wouldn't exist. As you're looking at this, in the right quadrant, a little bit up, is a lone solar system in which a lone planet called the Earth exists. Just this small speck of lint. And this small speck of lint has several dynamics. It is rotating around its own axis, and it is moving through the galaxy at its elliptical or axial point. We are traveling through space. The universe is said to be traveling, or our galaxy, at 1.3 million miles per hour. We are traveling through this universe, or through this galactic configuration. The Earth is rotating on its axis at 1,000 approximately miles per hour. And we're moving around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. Now, I probably have taxed your brain too much forward because I'm still trying to understand all of this myself. And as I said, our solar system does not exist on like a plate plane of the galaxy, but it is tilted almost perpendicular to that galaxy at an angle. And each one of the planets within this galaxy, within this universe, within the solar system, they're all rotating simultaneously at varying elliptical orbits and speeds. Really take it in as you look at the vastness, which is almost inconceivable, that these carbon-based conscious life forms exist. You do. And we can't get along. It's so sad that we occupy this lint-like existence in the vastness of the cosmos. And as far as we know, but I'm sure it cannot be, there are other life forms that may be based on different elemental components that are also conscious. But we haven't been able to sustain that with any proof, at least that I know of. Maybe in some locked cellar in Project 54 or whatever, maybe they have more definitive answers, which we have not been alluded to. But do you not recognize your place in the universe, even infinitesimal as it may be? And can we not feel and align ourselves with the vastness of speeds? Even when you go in an airplane, you're not traveling as fast through the space as the earth is moving in its place. The wonderment and the awe should strike us. We should feel it is a most precious human birth to exist in the vastness of the cosmos as a carbon-based entity, life form that is conscious of its own existence. In what way will you continue to contribute and rise up and elevate within the vastness of the galaxy, of the universe, of a multiverse, which has spawned our own existence in the making, 13.8 billion years. From wherever we arose, God or not, Buddha field, nirvana, hell, or heaven, here we are. And as one prophet says, it is up to you to make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. Take a breath in, please, and go ahead and take that away. Thank you. So, when Dr. Seiler, again, as I was talking to him the other night, I referred to him as a cross between Harpo Marx and Einstein. So we had our conversation talking about evolution and consciousness, this unknown, mysterious quality that binds and links us all together. Consciousness. How and where did it evolve? We still don't know. But it does awaken and rises up. So last night, Sri Aurobindo, one of my favorite mystics, a great mystic and philosopher of India. And I like to pick up a book and I just blow on it and see what it has to say. This may scramble your brain. You don't have to try to figure it out. Just let me plant it the same. This necessary preparation is proceeding in human development, as the corresponding preparations were developed in the latter stages of evolution, with the same gradations, retardations, inequalities, but still it is more enlightened, increasingly self-conscious, nearer to a conscious sureness, And the very fact that this process is attended by less absorption in the details, less timidity of error, a less conservative attachment to the steps gained suggests as much as it contradicts the hope and almost the assurance that when the new principles emerge, it will not be the creation of a new and quite different type, which separates after its creation, will leave the rest of mankind or humanity in the same position to it as are the animals to humanity. But if not by the evolution of humanity as a whole to a higher level, yet by an opening of the greater possibilities to all of the races who have the will to rise. For humanity, first among nature's children, has shown the capacity to change him or herself by their own efforts and the conscious aspirations to transcend. So again, he writes in a very cryptic way, but basically he is saying that the desire to evolve is already inherent in the mind itself, and that a catalyst comes along that invokes that awakening of ascending. We're at that point now and have been for quite some time. So we're at the carrefour, the crossroads. Which way shall we go? Will we make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven? As Sri Aurobindo is saying, through the awakening, you can make a choice. The last thing I was read some more tomorrow, but I wanted to start for today. The words of Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Let us be those creative dissenters who will call our beloved nation to a higher destiny, to a new plateau of compassion, to a more noble expression of humanness. So again, I just went to a site, quotations of Dr. Martin Luther King, and that was the first one I came up with. To hold ourselves to a higher standard, to embrace the innate quality to rise up that's already there. But this is what the Buddha talked about. This is what Gandhi talked about. And this is what Dr. Martin Luther King is talking about. Why is he talking about that? Because I believe, I read somewhere that Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X perhaps both met with Gandhi. And as we said, one mind with a singularity of a powerful idea can make change. Now, Gandhi was one of those individuals. Dr. Martin Luther King was one of those individuals. And we can go on and on. So I just heard some rumbling here. I hope it's not another earthquake. I hope it was an affirmation to what I am presently saying. So I hope I've taken you on a small journey this morning. And part of it is to say the importance of what you're doing. And that you really have firm, as I was speaking with the Thupten Rinpoche, that you have firm faith and trust, devotion, conviction, and commitment, and you recognize your place in the galaxy, your place in the universe, your place on this small little lint of an object that's in the vastness of space. And how could you not be in awe of this carbon-based life entity, life form, life force that is conscious and that has the ability to evolve to its highest aspect of loving kindness and compassion, the elevation of humanity, to open your heart to love, to have respect, to let go of hatred and the desire to kill and to put our foot on someone else's back so we can stand up to see in a direction and be blinded. Anyway, how come to my mind. Take a breath in, please. Breathe in. Breathe out. And again, just rest your mind for a moment. What does Dorje say? To rest beyond holding on to the past. Even this morning, I'm saying again and again, let go of what is past. Let go of what is past. Let go of what is to come. Let go of what is happening right now. Let go of trying to figure anything out. And let go of trying to make something happen. Let it unfold. But it doesn't mean to be irresponsible. Then he says, lastly, so right this moment, relax. I mean, let go. In order to relax, you must let go. Then he doesn't say, in a moment, give me 10 minutes, or tomorrow. He says, right now. Let your mind stop wandering and dancing about in the turbulent waves of samsara. Right now. And then the last he says, rest. And from that state of rest, the Dzogchen arises, or in the singularity, Guru Rinpoche, the manifestation of all of our masters, all bodhisattvas, Buddhas of the past, present, and future manifest in the form of Guru Rinpoche. And we say, most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind, so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Namo Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo. Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo. Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo. Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo, Lama Lagab Zojo, Zenga Lagab Zojo, Jo Lagab Zojo, Gena Lagab Zojo. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. So again, you have making these statements of affirmation and request. May we fulfill them in this lifetime. Then you can just have the sense that all of the bodhisattvas, the great bodhisattvas, have assembled above you, and you're appealing to them for their blessings, but also to be among them, to aid them in their endeavor. Som Nanze Nande Ransan Rudru Taje Toje Suna Sombayi Sange Dodange Domba Bezo Gunda Tojo Tajo Tajezo Jombe Garba Tonde Donjo No Jombe Garba Kira Badamba Gunda Gumba Taje Papa Je Lupo Taba Zara Padane Sajen Jamje Largo Junje Yeje Sanjun de Betaje Babe Waje Waje Bagela Zazalo Junjo Neda Den Doje Jen Red and Wangumbo Jambeba Saying Bozemba Nambaza Namba Tembo Bajo Dondo Oba Doje Baga Dojo Dobo Taware Namayi Jazen la nam daje baje jo jenjo chamba gela zazalo renjen doje daje doje nga donjon bondon gango nomala dan don don banjon bare do me do danjen gondo do de renjen doje geje daje jojo gawa je geje ma jojo ma dembe bare we daje namo gela zazalo Samba Jumbo Dumbo Jimmy Bo Bido Don Don Dumbo Don 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 Doggy Don 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 Mon Ejo Don 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 De 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 Don Doje Don Don Doje Doje Jen Bajon Do Doje Kaje Jen Sazon Yejo Gede Taje Be Jen Den Geda Jela Tazado Dojo Doje Wa Jumbo La Geden Jo Wa Jumba Don Joye Don don ba ba zen don ye che do ta che de le bon do do a This is Lama Rinpoche would give an analogy, being that we were in New York and would go to Coney Island, and you ride on the merry-go-round. There's a difference. One is merry-go-round and the carousel. I'm not sure what the difference, but there used to be this brass ring. You go around, if you could reach out and grab it, then you would get a prize. So Lama Gazi, he says, the blessings of the Buddhas are always like that. The brass ring of the Buddha's blessing are always there. Samsara, riding around on the horses of ignorance and desire and attachment and anger, going up and down. So Dharma is everywhere. So you just have to hold on to the rail and really lean out. If you're not careful, you'll fall off. But if you lean out and you hook your finger, you can grab the ring. So Lama Kazi says, all we have to do, the finger that's always pointing at someone else, let it hook and grab the ring of the blessings of the Buddha as you go through. So when I think of the Bodhisattvas like this, the ring of their blessings is always there. Just reach out and grab it. In your mind, you grab it. And Shanti Deva gives us some wonderful instructions. One time, Jeze Namga Namadan Dova Jeze Nego Ba Jeze Dorje Nego Nedova Darga Zawa. So all phenomena arise from their causes. The causes are explained by the Buddha. Cessation of these causes too are taught us by the great sage. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I recognize full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain and dispel the misery, suffering, and the causality of ignorance, desire, attachment, and anger in this world through loving kindness and compassion. So from this moment on, try not to speak ill of anyone, no matter what. To have loving kindness and compassion to dispel the darkness. To be a vessel of change and to be a radiant light. To be a flower of strength in this universe, in this solar system, in your community, in your household, with your partner. Don't gossip. It's so easy to gossip about this, that, and the other, especially with all of the challenging things that we see presently going on. Don't ingest the negativity. One coach, he says, defeat is not bitter unless you ingest it. Don't ingest defeat. The blessings of infinite hope. I like and use this phrase now. The blessings of infinite hope. And we do not enter into the gates of hell. Tayata umene mene mahamana yesoha. Tayata mene 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 mene mahamana yesoha. O mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. So mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. So mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene so mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. So mene mene mahamana yesoha. Mene mene mahamana yesoha. Receiving the blessings of the Buddha, self, and others, we engage in the practice of Tonlen to radiate the quality of loving kindness and compassion, perhaps to radiate the blessings of infinite hope, to radiate the awakened quality to evolve. In the midst of perhaps those who are now very angry, the seed of enlightenment is already growing, and may it overshadow their darkness. Practice Tonlen for the benefit of all. Now, in your mind's eye, we can visualize nothing more than for a nanosecond that our intentions have been fulfilled. And as we breathe out, the Buddha dissolves like water into light, or like water into water, I should say, the essence of the Buddha merging with the essence of our own intrinsic enlightened nature. And for a moment, we rest in this unity. Again, just breathing out. Lama, again, you visualize the Dzogchen, you visualize Guru Rinpoche. Gyaltsen Joji Guru Ne Bema June Zazudra Udur Gando Mambu Gur Yegi Zazu Darugi Genji Daje Zazu So Guru Bema Siri Om Urgyen Yuji Nanzan Bema Geza Dongola Gyaltsen Joji Guru Ne Bema June Zazudra Udur Hando Mambu Gur Yegi Zazu Darugi Genji Daje Zazu So Guru Bema Siri Om Urgyen Yuji Nanzan Bema Geza Dongola Gyaltsen Joji Guru Ne Bema June Zazudra Udur Hando Mambu Gur Yegi Zazu Darugi Chenjela Jeza Zuzu Guru Lama Siddhi Om. Yumao Dojo Toge Henge Sangam So Tonye Dozunga Mega Jojo Dojo Dewa Jembo Nanga Tendo Doji Tobe Lama Chuge Kola Zuwade Orient Belma Janela Zuwade Teje Nurgi Trumpets and Kanzo Kunzo Yada Yentren and Dege Yeje Ganda Watch Bego Doji Jedra Nezo Zozo Nama Lozo Kula Zuwade Orient Belma Janela Zuwade Mede de Metanganzo Doji Jumbo Chue Tumajan Gamar Gade Dargate on the Damajo Dada Zonge Lama Jubegula Zuwade Urgyen Bema Janela Sovade Gundan Dozam Gera Shirajan Bema Gera Nida Tujoga Tujogaran Dundo Gazozo Gada Lama Nala Sovade Tende Tribe Turje Truneta Doje Brondo Dunde Doriaria Nandra Dunde Dunde Tozange Gude Dunde Ba Dreme Uzo Shella Zuba, Zijen Gunjen Dona Tuzu, Dreme Uzo Nenden Uzo, Uza Donje Namge Nanzuba, Jemele Bejala Zuba, Uzun Gunge Bedma Jenege, Judu Boguzo, Zange and Bed and Dead, Kunzon Zembela Zuba, Woman to Yege, Tuzu Zange Guje, Renzam Gugu, Zoe Lama Nala Zoa, Brave Roman Jogi Yogi Bodando, Dozo Sange Goji Gogune, Ranzam Gogo Gonzo Dunzeba, Zoe Lame Jela Zoa, Evgewa Gundu Yandan Lamanda, Jome Jogi Balado Joden, Zada Dante Ranzone Zone, Doji Jinji Gopando, Close the left 3 times. Change hands, change channel. In and out through both. Breathing in as you come to the knees. Breathe out and rest. Removing all negativities. To cleanse and purify the speech. Om a yi hu rivi dele e hu aranga kaka gaganga tata tatanga tata tatana tata tatana baba baba ma yavala wa shaka sahasha omedama hitu prava hitu dagata hai wate dagansa yunero e vamine maha samana so se padra samaya za Om Ritsa Brahmani Bhavataye Soha Subhadra Samaya Za Om Bhadra Amrita Kundale Hana Om Ranje Gine Onle Ozo Tube Lama Da Nezobe Gunjen Jogi Gabo Lajun Tunde Tutse Gabio Midzawa Bebe Gunun Gun Ginanga Baza Samaza. Then Guru Rinpoche and all of his entourage appears, Dzogchen or just Guru Rinpoche. If you have a Dzogchen, then you look and see, oh, they're now all in front of me, in which I restate the vow of refuge and the development of bodhicitta and the arousal of loving kindness and compassion for all sentient beings. Sangye dodan zoge jo namla junjo bado dani gabsoji. Daji junjoge bezo namge jola benze zenge jo basho. Sangye dodan zoge jo namla junjo bado dani gabsoji. Daji junjoge bezo namge jola benze zenge jo basho. Sangye dodan zoge jo namla junjo bado dani gabsoji. Daji junjoge bezo namge jola benze zenge jo basho za ba o zoje na randa tempa quite ba ma sri aragaro dene doje torwa go sarva suto sava dharma sube suto donde dende Rinpoche ninjin gechewe nando dorwa dorwa bonzo zombo dajen gazo jembogu Om Bume Bate Sapari Rarba Satsamata Sata Na Pa Te Chete Bana Na Cha Namo Sabada Tagata Bayu Mishu Mugube Sabnute Sapa Ramen Nakama Soha Namo Sabada Tagata Bayu Mishu Mugube Sabnute Sapa Ramen Nakama Soha Namo Sabada Tagata Bayu Mishu Mugube Sabnute Sapa Ramen Nakama Soha Gada na de la do do dembo la de de ge de da do gada na de la do dembo de lo do gada na de la do dembo de ge de da do se bume pate aliye And so when you think of these obstructors, we don't banish them. We are liberating them. Because as we sort of indicated, the essence of the goodness lies within the darkness. It's merely which one will you invoke. Om Bhaja Mahasri Araga Dene Doji Torwa Guru Om Zarva Zuto Zarva Dhanme Zube Zutoro Tonde Nende Dende Rinpoche Ninja Zen Geche We Nanda Dora Bumbo Punzo Zumbo Dajun Gajun Bogu Oma Hum Om Sarabutaraga Saraja Sarabutaraga Sarabutaraga Saba Begane Namo Saba Daga Dubai Mission Mugube Saba Nagate Saparana Idam Gurana Kam Grehanda Idam Balinda Daye Soha Saba Begane Namo Saba Daga Dubai Mission Mugube Saba Nute Saparana Idam Garanam Grehanda Idam Balinda Daye Soha Saba Begane Namo Saba Daga Dubai Mission Mugube Saba Nukete Saparana Idam Garanam Grehanda Idam Balinda Daye Soha Sinjin Zamje Joba Dan, Doba Gundan, Doba Guji, Dunyan Dorje, Gundan, Doba Guji, Donge Mebe Damba Damba Dan, Medewa Guji, Tindan, Dewan, and the Sebemela, Namba Guji, Sinjin Zamje Dewa Dan, Dewa Gundan, Doba Guji, Dunyan Dorje, Gundan, Doba Guji, Donge Mebe Damba Damba Dan, Urgyen Samten Zaje, Boje, Georgia, Medro, Drum, River, Nede, Zambagi, Singers and the middle over ye, don't know nothing that you don't know Mandula, Neda, Diame. Saje, Boje, Georgia, Medro, Drum, River, Nede, Zambagi, Singers in the middle over ye, don't know nothing that you don't know Mandula, Neda, Diame, Saje, Boje, Georgia, Medro, Drum, River, Nede, Zambagi, Singers in the middle over ye, don't know nothing that you don't run the Mandula, Neda Taja, me Badru Tata Samaya, Manu Balaya, Badru Tatu Denova, Dudu Nebova, Suzogaya Nebova, Suzogaya Nebova, Anaratu Nebova, Zova City, Mebraya, Zaragama Zujume, Sidum Guru Hum, ha ha ha, oh Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Badru Mani Mutum, Mahasamaya, Datua, Badru Tata Samaya, Manu Balaya, Sudogaya Nabova, Sudogaya Nabova, Anara Nabova, Sudume, Sudum Guru Hum, now the practice of the assemblage of Vidyaharas. So, if you have the Lung and Wang and Tree, some of you have, then you understand when I say self-generation. If you do not, then frontal generation, meaning the deities in front of you. Either way, it's okay. You can say Om Ahum Badza Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Badza Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Badza Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. So again, we see now through the media, Guru Rinpoche, we see on the YouTube more documentaries about Guru Rinpoche, about the Buddha, about Tibet, etc. And so it says, Guru Rinpoche is the essence of all of the Buddhas, past, present, and future. And Guru Rinpoche is the Buddha of our time also. Then Rinpoche said, if we cannot depend, like Guru Rinpoche said, he says, merely call my name. You can depend on me. I promise I will be there for you to support, to help, to guide, to comfort during the most difficult times, but also during your most happy times. Please don't forget me. So we are doing Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum because it is the essence of this awakened quality that I was speaking of earlier. So we summons and invoke and invite Vajra Samaya Za Za. Then you place Om Ah Om So So there's two little prayers here. Don't worry about it. If you don't follow, no problem. Urgyen Lama Dorje Dorje Lama Dorje Badan Dorje Lama Dorje Kunzon Dorje Chenla Zowade Urgyen Rinpoche La Zowade Gyaltsen Baje Mejosen Urgyen Samten Ling Gonpa no so Om Ahum Badza Guru Padma Chojensa Badra Samaya Za Za Ati Pru Prati Saho. Your mind is the deity arising. Om Ahum Badra Adgam, Bhatam, Bube, Dube, Aloge, Gande, Nirwadi, Shabda, Rupa, Shabda, Gande, Raja, Shivaji, Dharma, Data, Buddha, Kaye. And either frontal or self, radiant rainbow light flows out from the heart space. Sumo Madhuguru Ramazari, Madhuguru Ramazari, Madhuguru Ramazari, Madhuguru Ramazari, Sidi Madhuguru Ramazari, Madhuguru Ramazari. Madhuguru Ramazari, Madhuguru Ramazari, So another thought, in 13.8 billion years, what are the chances that we have not met before? So one slimy creature crawling over the next one. Who knows? Oh, so many images of madness. But just to say, appreciate your existence in this universe. And before we close, I'll probably ask Menla to show you the galaxy. What's that old phrase? If you don't know where you've come from, you'll have a hard time figuring out where you're going. And if you don't stand for something, you'll go for anything. It seems like we are at both junctures, but the opportunity to change is at hand. So we summons the Dhammapalas. Your work is greatly needed now. Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be. Om Sri Denda Haraka, really Om Jo Om Be. Dene Daje, Damne Ramyam Gam, Dorje, Gidron Sidro Do. Damse Yeje, Yeme Doje Jen, Meze Namye Doje Guru Do. Yeze, Om Sri Gove Vaje Yeje 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 Doje Goje Doje Goje 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 Om Bhagava Gamba Rajo Gege Dade Guru Bhaja Baba Dene Daba Do the way, the teachings from Jungersho Kandro, the student of Gyaltsen Rinpoche, who spent most of her life in a cave high in the Himalayan mountains. And she said, look neither in nor out. Rest your eyes in the lamp of that brightness. Gently breathe in and out unencumbered, in the life force entering and leaving. And in the lamp of the heart, let it open like a flower. In the stillness of a mountain, sit. In the naturalness of the breeze through the trees that moves the leaves. Let your mind be as spacious and vast as the universe. Rest. Bring the hands to the gesture of tranquility. Let go of ego cherishing. Do not fear the loss of the falsity of this individuality. But by letting go, perhaps you will gain the height of your humanity. Even in this day, which will we create? Heaven or hell? Will you be the weed or the flower? Either way, it will grow. And during these seemingly challenging and difficult times, all things change. It is the constant. And darkness can only be described in relationship to light. So I make the proposal and plant the seed and ask of myself and you, as I said to myself, I will be the messenger of peace, vessel of change, and I will fulfill my destiny as proclaimed, put forth by a mystic counselor from the 8th grade to be an emissary. Don't be imbecilic, which I'm sure on many occasions I have fulfilled with levity. I'm sorry, must laugh at myself. Your homework before the day is over. Oh, good, you must laugh. So I want to read one more time. This statement is stuck in my mind. And I was looking at footage, which I have done in the past, of Martin Luther King and all those surrounded him. And I have a special affinity, especially when they talk about Selma. As whether it's real or not, but I believe maybe that's why I'll tell you this story tomorrow. Like I say, I didn't meet Rosa Parks, but I did live with Lula Guy. And supposedly Lula Guy and Rosa Parks were friends, which I found much, much later in life. And Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, did come to Selma. But obviously, if I don't remember seeing him, who knows, probably hiding someplace, trying not to get shot. Anyway, so what did he say once again, which I love? I went to that first statement. I love how he uses language. Let us be those creative dissenters. We have destructive dissenters among us who are trying to blanket humanity with darkness. Not just in American society. It's happening around the globe. We see this disruptiveness. So he says, let us be those creative dissenters, one who creatively stands apart. And these dissenters who will call our beloved nation is this man who was persecuted, beaten, bitten, called names, put in jail, and so forth, spit upon. And he still says, who will call our beloved nation. What is he calling us to do? To rise to a higher destiny, to evolve in our consciousness within this universe. To do what? To a new vista, to a new plateau. Because only when you rise to a new plateau can you look down and see all that is in the valley that needs to be changed or appreciated. A new plateau of what? Compassion, and I'll add loving kindness and trust and humility and respect. To a more noble experience of humanness. So he's talking about the nobility of our humanity, the nobility of our existence that has taken 13.8 billion years for us to come to this moment right now. Before we go, put up the galaxy one more time if you can, Master Ming. I really want to impress, if not upon you, but upon me, the miracle And I know some people says that's a little bit over the top. But we can't even fathom seeing and experiencing the quality of space in which we exist. We are in such small test tubes. But you are part of that galaxy, part of this universe, multiverse. And as infinitesimal as that speck may be, at a 60-degree inclination in relationship to the elliptical plane of our galaxy, we exist as carbon-based life forms that are conscious and that have the ability to awaken to a higher evolution of our own humanity. Go and bring us back, Mastermen, so I can see their faces. One more time, straighten your body, straighten your back, straighten your mind. This day, don't gossip. Don't be in despair about what may happen in this coming week. It will pass, and the fires will burn out. And even when the fires rage, it may take centuries, decades, but the green returns. So shall we? So again, I propose to you, be a vessel of change. Be a light of peace. Practice from your own meditational cells and radiate this quality throughout all of space. We don't need to see or know how the effect occurs. That's ego. Put it aside. The important thing is that we engage in the process with the intent to be of value and of benefit to all sentient beings throughout all of time and space, as it says. This is my mandate to me. I'm proposing the mandate to you. If you follow in this lineage, then you must do the same. You must do so. Dugu Urgyen Rinpoche, Jata Rinpoche, Choling Rinpoche, Kinsei Rinpoche, Bokudugu Rinpoche, all these great masters, their blessings are coming to you. Hook your finger, not your tongue. Blah, 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 blah. Hooking of the tongue. This old phrase. Hook your finger and grab the ring. Take a breath in, please, everyone. Breathing out and rest. Get some rest. Kandro, Nimala, make sure you get some rest today. You're working way, way, way too hard. And then we rejoice in the Yogi Dogo. He is in retreat. We rejoice in his retreat so we get the benefit. Thank you so much. Anyway, bring your hands together one more time, please. So umso desenge renzenge bobile ne de ge do na de ma yi de ma me de do na za be de zen gun zen do nye de de me me ze bu ga de do dem ge zo de me do go ji Thupten de long chen ba ze do de me nan de ji me ling zo me la me de ba ze de ba ze do do zum gun be zen go ji chen zo zen jo ren bo ji ma ge ba nam ge go ji ge ba na ba me ba ye ko ne ko do be bo so Gazo da ye don't wait don't dojo. Go yen dojo jembeje dojo nabra be bale megun zudu. Dombarunda tashi da lejo. Ayata unga de gate pero zanga de bote so let go of what is past. Let go of what may come. Let go of what is happening now. Don't try to figure anything out. Don't try to make anything happen. Relax. Let go. Right now. Rest. Yo idea do because those on the Dorje don't and you know your body like you. So then please enjoy the rest of this day. May it be pleasant, may it be peaceful. And in closing, blessings of infinite hope. I radiate to you infinite hope. No matter what, no matter how much they step on your back and to break you, call your names and degrade you, never give up hope because we have indomitable spirit. Have a good afternoon,